Hearty shalom to you, Jeffrey Seif here with a segment of Behind the Scenes. Sometimes we're asked how we come up with the programs at Zolalevittpresents, and having done around 150 or so individual segments, the better part of that was right in the aftermath of when Zola went on to his reward when I took the helm of it and just did it principally then. And the better part of the work was done there, but now having picked it up again, I can respond to the question, how do we do it? Well, it comes from different places, prayerfully and carefully. I'll seek the Lord and get something that I'll then conversate with Ken Berg. And usually we flesh out the particulars there. Ken is our producer. Sometimes Ken comes to me. A recent one, well, the Return to Eden series that we did, the genesis of that was in my breast, and then I conversated with him and we kind of found it there. But then the one subsequent to that, called Divine Deliverance, came out of him initially, and then we conversated about it and we did it there. But there's a sense in which there's a kind of synergy with the team. It comes as a team project, principally as the senior theologian for the ministry. I mean, I'm relied upon to, this is a Messianic Jewish ministry, contrary to, there was an intermittent period there where Zolalevittpresents didn't have that that Messianic Jewish kind of pedigree as the front man. All the teaching was, just the best out of Messianic Jewish experience in Israel, but the perception was, and in so many ways, perception is reality. At least it's the reality of those that are perceiving. The thinking was because they didn't see the front man. But, the ministry has asked me if I would step up a little more with Dave and Kirsten Hart, whom I really love working with, by the way. I think they drew some unfair criticism, I should say, that, they're non-Jewish, but they're lovers of Israel. Their child is working and laboring in Israel. And, it's all family. It's all good. I mean, we're, one new man, to use Pauline language. And I just love working with them. And we just do this together. That as the senior theologian, sometimes the genesis of a series will come from me principally, and then I'm conversating with Ken Berg, and then we're working it out with the Hearts. And through that mishmash, we prayerfully and carefully bring something to the world. And what a world it is, too. When you're making television, you don't know who your world is. But it's very big. You're casting a very, very big net. And you enable us to do that, by the way. I should say, church buildings come in various shapes and sizes, but they're very, very limited in capacity. You'll go, wow, look at this big auditorium. It seats, 10,000 people. Well, that's great, but 10,000 people ain't nothing when it comes to television. You're looking at 100,000 people. It's a bad viewing on a series segment. It's just vast. And quite frankly, I think when we think about the gospel going global, media, just really contributes to that greatly. And with that said, thank you for contributing to helping us get out, because the rent is very expensive. I made the point, well, I'm coming from my home right now. I have a study here, and it feels so good. It's all bought and paid for. I don't have to worry about it. I'll pay a little bit of tax, every year, but truth be known, the mortgage, it's all done. It's a great feeling to get those cars paid for and the house and some of the other things. And that's one of the benefits of being, at my age. I'm staring at 63, and, a lot of that stuff's taken care of. You never finish paying the mortgage on television because you're renting space on a major superhighway called television, and it's expensive. I was walking around the mall. My cousin came in town the other day, and we were visiting North Park Mall in Dallas, and I was thinking, boy, I wouldn't want to pay rent because it's a real exclusive mall. I didn't buy stuff. We were just kind of walking around, but I wouldn't want to pay the rent there. You wouldn't want to pay the rent on Christian television because it's expensive, but we pay it And by the way, you help us pay it. And I want to thank you and beg your indulgence in staying with us here with Zolalevittpresents as we continue to produce worthy television that looks at the Bible from a Jewish lens. We want to help Jewish people come to know Jesus, and we want to help Jesus people come to know Jews. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me, for helping us do just that.